We need to talk about the Trump regime's war on psychiatric care. They're calling it a public health crusade, but make no mistake, this is a political campaign dressed up as medicine. Over the past 2 years, senior officials have repeatedly framed common psychiatric medications as a national threat, and those words have consequences. Reported remarks include lines like, "I know people, including members of my family, who've had a much worse time getting off SSRIs than they have getting off heroin." And a podcast excerpt that was widely reported as saying, "Every black kid is now just standard put on Adderall, SSRIs, benzos, and those kids are going to have a chance to go somewhere and get reparented." I did a whole other video on that, by the way. On television, officials have even said investigators can't exclude SSRIs as a possible contributor to mass shootings. These are not neutral sound bites. They are seeds of fear and misinformation. Here's what the science actually shows. SSRIs are not opioids. They do not produce the compulsive, reward-driven addiction that defines heroin. What is real and documented is a small, age-specific increase in unaliving thoughts for some young people starting antidepressants, and a discontinuation syndrome that can be distressing if medications are stopped abruptly, such as, for instance, if the government were to suddenly ban them. Large reviews do not support a causal link between SSRIs and mass violence. Critical care requires nuance, monitoring, and careful tapering, not alarmist headlines. So what happens when rhetoric becomes policy? Clinicians grow risk-averse. Patients stop medications suddenly. Emergency rooms fill with withdrawal and relapse. Psychotherapy is touted as the solution, but there's no quick way to scale the workforce, not to mention the cost. And when proposals single out Black children for removal and, quote, reparenting, we cross a severe ethical line into coercion and racialized othering. This is about more than pills. It's about bodily autonomy, medical rights, and the dignity of people who live with mental illness. If you care about evidence and compassion, demand better. Insist that leaders cite peer-reviewed science, fund alternatives before cutting access, protect informed consent, and stop weaponizing medicine for political theater. We can choose a different path, one rooted in care, not coercion, and we can choose it together, but we must choose it now.